Hey, welcome back to Ungroundable, the podcast where we share our deepest, darkest secrets to our family members who are going to be horrified.
I love it.
I love it too. And today, we have a first happening in today's show. We are actually having a mother-daughter duo come on.
Fun.
Yes, today we are lucky enough to have Ashley Ray and her mom join us. For those of you who don't know, Ashley Ray is a comedian and writer, a hysterical person, and the host of the podcast TV, I Say. And she's got lots to spill to her mom, and I don't think her mom even knows what she's in store for.
Good thing your mom's sitting down.
Good thing she's sitting down because we are talking about potential jail time. Well, I'll just leave it there, you guys. Enjoy the show.
If your parents only knew of the shit you used to do, you'd be grounded for a long, long time.
Hello, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, I'm so glad
for
to be
having
here.
us.
Okay, we have to be honest. This is our first mother-daughter duo. Like we haven't done this yet, so thank you for going on this journey. We're very excited about this.
Yeah, I'm happy my mom was in town to do it.
Thank you.
Oh, so my mom, can you tell us what your name is?
My name is Sharon.
Sharon. Sorry,
Yes.
I just felt comfortable calling you mom right off the bat. May I call you mom, Sharon?
Yes, you may call me mom.
She could be mom number one,
Yeah,
and I'll be
mom
mom number two.
My mom, Jennifer, was asking if you lived in town, but you don't. Where did you come in from?
From DeSoto, Texas.
Oh, wow. You guys are having
right.
some weather.
Are we? Is it bad? I haven't paid
I
any
think
attention.
so. There was like
Don't go
some
home.
rain and
I won't. Okay.
I think I did see it was like raining pretty bad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Listen, we're like LA natives, so anything other than LA weather, we're like, it's weather. Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's
tremendous.
cold.
It's
yeah.
raining. Like,
And
oh
it's been cold since she got here, and
Since
I'm
I got
like,
here,
you don't.
yeah.
This is cold. Like we don't deal
Yeah.
with this here.
Yeah, this is true.
'Cause I wanted to
we're
go to the beach. So.
Are you here for the holidays?
Just to the 20th. So I might come
Oh,
back.
nice.
Well,
Nice.
have you podcasted with your daughter before? Do you feel comfortable behind the mic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She we did Seth Rogen's Storytime podcast. She did that with me, and then
That's
she's been on
great.
my podcast a few
Yes.
times.
Oh,
Fun.
fantastic. Well, we're just getting the hang of it. This is mom's first time podcasting. And I
great.
got to say, you're nailing it.
Yeah,
You're
but
doing
not
great.
today.
Not
we've
today.
already- yeah,
just
yeah.
in this podcast.
Right,
alone.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun.
Well, this sounds
Yeah.
like fun. I can't wait to get started.
Yeah. So the premise, obviously, of this podcast came out of this fact that mom and I have become close friends over, as I became an adult, and we would go to lunch and have drinks, and then the stories would start flowing. And it's just so funny, the things that as a kid you hold on to so tightly
Yes.
that you're so worried to tell. And once you do tell, either they're shocked, they think it's hilarious, or they already knew. So I'm curious, before we hop into the stories, I'd love to hear more about your relationship as a mother-daughter duo. And also, we always like to ask our guests to sort of set the stage in terms of where you grew up, Ashley, what home life was like, and what you were like as a kid, what mom was like as mom. Just so as we then dive into these stories, our audience sort of has a concept of what we're in
Yes.
store for and what the setting is.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
You start.
Okay, yeah. Should I just start there? Cool.
Yeah, go
Sure.
for it.
I grew up in Rockford, Illinois. That's where we lived. Rockford is a small town in northern Illinois, like 90 miles outside of Chicago. At the time, it was the second biggest city in Illinois. So it's its own city. It's not a suburb. That's like a very big point of pride for Rockford. And also, it's a city. So, growing up, I did have like kind of a city experience. We had a downtown, lots of things to explore as like a teenager. And yeah, in my house, it was me, my mom, my older brother, and then my mom ran a daycare center in our
Oh,
house.
wow.
Yeah. So like the whole first floor of our house was the daycare. There were always tons of kids for my whole life, like from 3 months old to
Yes.
18. There were always other kids in my house. And like I was CPR certified at 13, so I could live in my home.
Whoa.
Wait,
I had to
that's
have background
brilliant.
checks. Yeah. So that I could like live in our house because it was also a daycare. So, you know,
Licensed.
licensed daycare. Yes, she's a daycare provider. A childcare provider.
How
with,
many
you
of
know,
those
her
places are
degree.
not licensed? I always
A
wonder
lot.
So
when
many.
A lot.
are there?
Most
A
of
lot.
Yeah.
You know, we see signs like
Well, I
all
have
the
some
time.
here in my neighborhood.
Yeah, and I'm
Yes.
always curious. Like they
I
can't
think-
all be professional, right?
No.
No, I think it depends on the number of children you have. The less children you have at
Mm.
one time depends on whether you need another helper there or you need somebody there or if you even need licensing. I had 3 shifts.
Yeah, she's
First
second,
shift, second, and
Whoa.
third shift, 6 days a
Wow.
week. So it
Oh
was
my God.
it was constant, and we had a whole learning program. So it was kids
Wow.
6 weeks old to
And a
12.
lunch program
Lunch
with
program.
a full menu that I would have to
That's
help every week.
impressive.
Wait,
Yeah.
this is amazing. How did you study educate? Like, how did you
Yeah.
Come on,
do
yeah.
this?
I went to school for it, and then I went back to school to get more on the business side of childcare. So there's early education, early childhood education, and there's early childhood education in the business side for it. So I was doing that back and forth, and that was hard because they didn't have, at the time, there was no online schooling for that. So I'd have to have my helper stay, and I'd run the class, come back, and finish.
Wow.
You must have been exhausted.
Or
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
when
exhausted thinking about
I'm
it.
tired. I
Yeah.
want to put my head down now just
Like,
thinking
yeah,
about what you
when I-
did.
Well, Ashley
when I
helped
turned
a
18,
lot.
when I turned 13 and got certified, I was allowed to help with you there.
Yes.
And then when I was like 17, I could help by myself.
Yes.
So like I would watch the kids while she had to like go run
Yes.
errands or go to class. I could like watch small
Wow.
groups of the kids. But she decided to start the daycare because when I was a baby, she worked in the suburbs of Chicago and she was driving back and forth from like
Yeah.
Rockford to the suburbs with me in the car and like paying all this money to send me to daycare. And she was like, I want to spend more time with my favorite child.
You see how she threw that in there?
So she started a daycare so that she could be home with me and still, you know, give me that social experience of like being around other kids and learning.
Cool.
Great
Yeah.
mom.
Wow.
What a fun setting for like this. I'm like feeling a TV show. Like what
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fun,
Yeah.
crazy
was.
setting.
It was crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
And just for me, my whole life growing up, I woke up to the sound of kids crying.
All the time.
All the time. That's what I was
Oh.
used to. And it wasn't even something that bothered me. It was just like, that's my alarm. Like, oh, Kiki's crying. That's, time to go.
Wow.
And when
Are
I
you
went to
s-
college,
Are you still
Well, I-
doing that, Mom?
No, I
No.
stopped, and it was 2010. My mom had got really sick in in Dallas, and so I decided to just close the daycare there. It was like 23 years almost, 22,
yeah,
23 years.
21.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I just packed everything up. Couldn't get rid
Mm.
of it because it was part of me. So I took all the daycare equipment, everything, packed it up,
Whoa.
and went to Dallas and found a spot there and worked there for 2 years. So I started over there, and that was good. I only did first and second shift though, and then my mom started getting worse with she had Alzheimer's. So
Mm-hmm.
I just stopped doing that and went into home care. So I know
Oh
what to
my
do for her. So
God.
I just became a
Wow.
CNA so I could work with her on a daily basis
Wow.
and know what Medicare, Medicaid, all that stuff's about because it's insane trying to get it
know.
all together. And luckily my mom was a nurse too, and she had got most of her things all together, but so much had changed.
Mm.
So we had to take a lot of time to find the right
Yeah.
doctor. I was not letting her go into a nursing home, so it was like, no,
Yeah.
she will be right here, like my dad had. And so that's what we did. And she passed
Yeah.
away in 2018. So
Yeah, we just went through that with my mom. She passed a year ago.
Oh,
It's
sorry to hear that.
brutal.
The
to-
system
the
is
system
beautiful.
is
It's insane.
insane, especially
It's
here in
insane.
LA.
Oh, trying to find her proper care. I mean, that was
It's hard.
It was brutal. I know that we're getting off topic, but like
Yeah.
you're an incredible woman. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
you.
I say all of that because that's kind of who my mom. She was always this very just
Wow.
caring, loving
Oh,
woman.
thank you.
Wow.
All of the kids in the daycare called her mom. Like every kid in the
Aw.
daycare considered her their
Wow.
mom. There are kids
Yeah.
to this day who will be like,
Still
"Tell
call me."
tell mom I said hey," and I'm like,
Aw.
"She's my mom, but I will carry the message."
Yeah.
So are you
But-
having fun now, Mom?
Oh, well, yes. To a point,
Yeah.
Less diapers
Good.
to change, I think. But like,
Yeah, I was gonna say
she-
you should have fun now for sure.
Yeah, I should. I
Yeah.
am. That's why I'm here.
And I think,
I'm happy
like,
with her.
growing up, like I went to school and I had friends, and my friends would always want to come hang out at my house when I was a kid because I had all the
Aw.
toys. I had a
Oh,
giant
yeah.
backyard. Yeah, I had all these toys, multiple computers. Everyone was like, Ashley's house is the most fun. And then they'd come over, and everyone was always like, your mom is more fun than you. Like, literally, my friends would come over and they'd want to hang out with my mom because they were
Oh
like,
my
she's
God.
so funny and so much cooler. And I would just be like, oh, okay. So I feel like that was kind of our dynamic growing up. She was my mom, and I wouldn't say we had like a best friend vibe. I was always like, that
I
is
was
my
like,
mom.
that's
Like I was
mom.
always like
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
But it was always still very fun, and you always came at me in a very understanding way because you
Yeah.
understood childhood development. You know?
Oh yeah, what a
Yeah.
gift to have, because we've had so many people in this show whose parents were pretty strict or like
Mhm.
didn't really have, I guess, maybe the information or knowledge to be able to come at
Mhm.
their children with understanding,
Yeah.
which I think is common and fair, and
Yes,
that's what parenting
yes,
is.
very
but-
much. Yes.
Hmm.
Well, she was my
And-
right hand. She did my paperwork for me. Once we
Wow.
start doing things
All
on the
the
computer,
time.
I'm like, I don't get it. I don't know what they're saying. Do this because we had to do everything by hand.
Yeah.
Turn in our paperwork to the state monthly, things like that. If you took subsidy
Wow.
children, so it was a lot of paperwork for every program. And
Wow.
then we got. I showed Ashley, okay, this is the format. This is how they want us to do this. What am I going to do? I'll show you. And she'd show me. I was like, okay, got it.
So you would say she was a smart, good kid.
Oh yeah, she was a smart, good kid. We had some problems.
I was,
See,
but I was a
Oh.
nerd. I was
she
a
was
nerdy
kind of the
kid.
nerd kid, though. She was
Yeah, like I never really got into big trouble because I got
No.
good grades all the time.
all the time.
So it was always like, as long as I was getting good grades, I knew I could get away with things, and she wasn't going to ask too many
Ah.
questions. So
Her
Now,
teachers
Mom, you
used to
said there was
tell on
some
her.
trouble. Give it to me. What
I-
comes to mind?
Oh yes,
I mean, I think it really wasn't until like high school,
Mhm.
really. And I mean, like the trouble she knew about, I think was like small stuff. Like my friend and I went to we had this big local festival called Waterfront in Rockford. And my friend and I went together. My mom knew my friend and I were going together. We went together, watched some of the shows. And then I told my friend, hey, I'm going to go with my boyfriend to this other stage. I will be back. Going to the stage with Anna, my boyfriend. And my boyfriend and I go to this other stage, and my friend, who was jealous that I like was spending time with a boy instead of her, called my mom and was like, yeah. She called my mom, ratted me out, and is like, I have no
Whoa.
idea where Ashley is. She ran away, blah, 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 blah. And my
Oh.
mom comes like driving to Waterfront. She drove past a police barrier. Like the half of downtown is closed off for
Love
this
that.
festival. And she pulls her car up right next to the Metro Center, which I'm like, this street is
Yes.
closed off. Like, how did you drive into Waterfront? And she's just like, where's Ashley? Where are you? And at this point, we're walking back to
no.
where we were. And I'm just like, what are you doing here? I'm
Oh,
like, Anna, why
no.
did you call and tell on me? I was on my way back.
Oh no.
But yeah,
Did you get in trouble?
I did, Mom. She was very mad at me.
Yes.
But I don't
It's
know.
like,
I
you
never
disappointed me, and I was like, "Well, you're on punishment for a week," which really,
I don't ever really remember her.
I needed
grounding
her
me.
help that week.
Yeah, it was always, like
I might have
Me
to
too,
forget
man.
that.
Yeah, to me, it's like I'm trying to remember. I don't think I was ever grounded. You couldn't take away like my computer rights because I had a
No.
laptop.
Yeah.
So I don't really remember what being in trouble was like. Like you would just kind of be upset with me, and then I'd be like, oh, she's mad. And then I'd just like kind of stay in my room for a while.
but her teachers would tell me things.
Eh.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah.
There was a dance at the school. And for some reason, I
A
just had
very
a
similar
very bad
setup.
vibe about it. It was something just because she never would want to go to the dances. And, Mom, I don't have a date. I'm like,
I
well,
had a date. I was literally dating Andrew at this point.
Andrew.
Andrew.
So I take her to the dance, and I thought, okay. I always took her everywhere.
This is before I could
dropping her
drive.
off at her friend's house, dropping her off at the dance, and then she went and she got it there, and it was just weird how she was so happy to go. It just
This
didn't
is
feel
unusual.
right. It's like, okay, yeah, she usually doesn't want to do this. And the next thing I know, I get back to pick her up,
Yeah.
and you finish. The
I don't
teacher comes
remember
out
what
and says,
happened.
she comes out and tells me, Ashley wasn't at the dance. What do you mean Ashley wasn't at the dance? Ashley hasn't been here.
Vince.
I'm like, well, where could she have been? Because I dropped her off. She was here. And I'm like, oh my God, what happened?
I was back by this point, by the way. I'm back at the school at this point.
She cheated.
And Senora Evans, the worst teacher in the world who
Fucking
hated me.
Senora
Thank
Evans.
you.
Yeah, there's
Thank you.
always one.
Truly,
There's always one.
Truly, she had a vendetta against me. I took Spanish with her for 4 years. My senior year, she was like, I don't care if you get all A's, I'm giving you a C no matter what. Just because she
And
did
she
not
did.
like me.
She
She
did.
truly was just like, I find
Whoa.
you. She said to me, one time she was like, I just think Ashley's annoying in class
Oh
because she hums. And I would be like, when do I hum in class? And I was like, I never do that. So she hated me, had a vendetta out. I went to the dance, met up with my friend Anna, and then Andrew, my boyfriend, came and picked us up in his car, and we left.
Left the dance? They did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Left the dance,
And
but she
went
was
to a
technically there.
cemetery.
I was technically there.
She
You
was
went to the
technically there.
cemetery?
There was a cemetery right next to our campus, like our school campus.
And
And so that was like where kids would walk to be like, oh, we want to do things, but like we don't want to be on the school campus because we could get in trouble. So you would walk to Sinisippi Park and you could walk through and then you'd walk to the graveyard where like nobody would bother you. So that's
To,
like where people
smoke cigarettes or like
yeah, like
Uh-huh.
smoke cigarettes, make out, whatever.
Oh, I
just
didn't know
like
that part.
hang
Romantic.
out.
At the
Yeah.
cemetery.
You know, it was just like, oh, you can park your car here and do whatever. and
Nobody's
nobody's
gonna
gonna
bother
bother you. It was
yeah, because
like
they're all dead.
Yeah, exactly.
and it was a smaller cemetery, so they didn't have like a groundskeeper, and it was just very like you could also like climb the fence. So even if you just like were at our school, you could just climb the fence and be in the cemetery, and nobody bothers you.
Whoa.
So we just like went
was the
there.
school haunted?
Yeah.
Probably.
Were you thinking
Honestly,
that?
probably.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
thinking that.
Yeah, that's
Could
The
have
school's
been.
probably haunted. I would believe
It's
it.
a strange school.
Yeah, it's a very weird school.
It's a weird school.
Yeah. And
That's-
so,
that's
you know, we
fine.
went to the cemetery, hung out, just literally, I don't even think we did anything that cool. I remember just like I don't even think we smoked cigarettes or anything. I think we were just like, the dance is boring. It's cooler to be in the cemetery.
Yeah, be in
Talking-
the cemetery and talk
talking in-
trash about the school.
Yeah.
Talk trash
And
about
talk
the
trash about
teachers.
people.
Or
All
talk
I
to
re-
the dead people.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I really remember is my boyfriend's car, the tape deck was broken, and he had U2's War stuck in it, and the car was broken in a way where if the car was on, it played the tape no matter what.
No.
So I just remember sitting there and we listened to War by U2 on repeat over and over just while
Oh,
sitting in this car
no.
being like, the dance is dumb, everybody's annoying, we're too cool for this. And then
So
we
let's
went
listen to
back.
one song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went back and I was like, mission accomplished. Got away with this one.
you
I'm back
didn't.
at the dance and my mom's here to pick me up and we just go. But then Senora Evans took it upon herself
I don't like
to
her.
neither
don't
do
like
I. No one did.
Where is she now?
Yeah.
Is she in the graveyard?
I hope so.
No.
Bless her.
I
bless
doubt.
her.
I hope she's not still teaching Spanish because she
did
was
not.
horrible
No, she
at
was
it.
not a good
Ugh.
teacher. But
Horrible.
Goodness.
But she
Well-
ratted me out, told my mom that I wasn't actually at the dance, and then you got mad and kind of tried to ground me again.
Until she needed your help.
until I needed
Yeah.
her help.
Until she had to
Which was
change her
every
diaper.
day.
And it's like, I don't ever remember you being like, you're grounded. You can't watch TV, which would have been a
I
punishment
guess
to me. But you never punish me by taking TV away.
I don't know. I guess because you didn't look at TV that much
I watch
then.
TV all the time.
Well, we did it
Well,
together.
good thing now
watch
because
TV together,
she's the TV
so-
expert.
Yeah, I mean, TV. I was watching SNL all the time. I remember
Yeah.
staying up late to watch The Daily Show and like South Park, and you never were like, you can't do that. You're grounded. It was just like, I'm mad at you.
I'm mad.
That was being grounded. I was just like, oh, my mom is mad.
Well, I think because
Aw.
with me and my mother, I always felt the worst thing I could do was disappoint my mom. So I did a lot of wrong stuff, but I would tell her when she found out, and she'd say, Sharon, and look me in the eyes with these sad eyes and say, you disappointed me. I'm so disappointed.
Oh.
And then she'd do the sad little chihuahua face, and
Oh,
she'd just turn
no.
around, and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to hell. That's it. I disappointed my mom. I can't. She's going to tell my big mama, she's my grandmother, and she's going to tell everybody in the family, and oh my gosh. So that's how I was.
Did you call your grandmother Big Mom? Is that
Big
what you
Mama.
said?
Big mama.
Big mama.
That is so
Big
cute.
mama.
That
She was the
is.
big mama.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
I
is cute.
love
My
I
mama,
like
big
that.
mama, yeah. Big mama really. We grew up with her a lot because my
Yeah.
mom was working all the time and in school too, and so she would take. We were in Detroit, Michigan at that time before the riots, when Detroit was so much fun. And so we would go to stay with my grandmother in Texas every summer. I used to think it was a vacation, but now I think, no, it wasn't.
Yeah. I think Big Mama probably.
It wasn't
I
a
think-
vacation.
I think she disciplined me more than you ever did.
Yeah.
She was
Oh,
a big,
wow.
like, my great grandma. She was the only one who ever, like, spanked me or did anything
she was
like
a spanker.
that. Yeah.
She would spank you. She'd go get a stick, go get a switch
Oh, no.
from the tree.
Yeah.
And if you came back with a small little switch, what is that? No. She'd go out,
Not good enough.
get a
Now
bigger
it's
one.
like, yeah,
You
now it's
had
like
to
she
get
gets to
it,
pick the big one.
and then you get the legs, and okay, stop. Yeah, that
Oh.
was.
Yeah.
I think it was child abuse, but
No, and she did it to me. And, like, my mom never did
Probably
that to
was.
me.
it was
Yeah.
child abuse.
Like, my mom
Different
never
time.
spanked me. And the first time she did it to me, I apparently just looked at her like, what are you doing? This is insane. Like, I just was like, is everyone catching this? This can't be okay.
Are you
I was just like, yeah, like, what? I'm like,
See
my
what
mom
she did to
doesn't.
My mom never hits
I
me.
was like, my mom doesn't do this to me.
Wow.
And I probably said something sarcastic
Yeah,
or
she
grabbed
did.
something from her. I don't know. I was a baby. I
was
like
that
a
the only
toddler.
time?
Yeah, that was the only time. And then my
Well-
mom never really did any. Like,
I couldn't tell Big Mama no.
yeah.
Oh, we don't
But-
tell Big Mama no.
No.
I
We
can't
don't.
tell Big Mama no.
But yeah, I don't. Yeah, and you never, like, when I would get in trouble, you never told, like, grandma or anybody. It was just, I was in trouble and you were mad, and then we'd get over it eventually. Or you'd make me go to church. She would do that a lot. Like, when I got caught, when I was probably 7 or 8, I stole a bunch of candy from the grocery store one stop down the
Yeah.
street.
I was so
What kind of
mad.
candy? Anything good?
Junk.
Just
No.
whatever I could grab from the front, whatever. It wasn't even candy I liked most of the time. It was just, I
'Cause
don't know,
you
as a
could.
kid, I was just like, they put this candy here.
Yeah.
And I put it in my pockets. And I mean, I guess I knew that it was stolen and I had to hide it because when I got home, I had like this Princess Barbie makeup
Yeah,
set.
that's where she put everything.
And I would hide the candy in it. I would hide the
knows.
candy in the Barbie makeup set. And then one day my mom like looked in it and was like, where's this all from? And I was just like, the store? Duh. And she's like, you don't have money. Where's this from? And I told her, oh, I just took it from One Stop. And she like took all the candy and took me back to the store and told on me and was like, but then I do remember the guy was just like, you shouldn't steal. That's bad. We could call the cops. But then he let me keep all the candy.
Yeah, and I was
He
like,
was like,
don't let her have
How
that
funny.
candy. What
and
a
she's
jerk
like,
you
don't let her
are.
keep the
Yeah,
candy.
what's
That's
wrong?
not. But then he let me keep it. But then she gave it to all the daycare kids except for me. She was like,
Okay.
fine then. And I remember you in the car giving the candy to everyone else but me. And I was just like, well, this
Oh,
isn't.
wow.
I like this parenting tip. I like this.
I guess.
I think it's brilliant. And clearly it has
Yeah.
worked because you two are just so cute together.
Oh, thank you.
Clearly have a beautiful relationship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I want to get into now that we're sharing these stories that you guys know mutually,
Uh-huh.
Ashley, do you
Oh,
have
wait.
stories that
Oh,
you've
okay,
been
yeah.
holding on to?
Oh my God.
Yes, because I thought that because I was like, oh, I was supposed to share stories she already knows because I sent one she does not know.
That's what
Oh.
we're really here
And-
Oh my
for.
God. I'm
And there's
scared.
no switch involved.
No
Yeah.
switch.
No switches involved. None of that. Let's see. I know they sent you a list. I'm gonna like pull it back up so I can remember what I.
It's just so
emailed.
funny that these kind of stories we've held on to for so very long.
Okay,
and
I
we've-
got the stories. Yeah.
All right, lay it on us. Are you ready,
okay.
Mom? Are you
I'm
ready for
ready.
this?
I'm
Okay.
ready.
She's sitting down.
Yeah.
I'm sitting down.
The first one is kind of similar to the dance story. In fact, very similar. It was my senior year. I was sort of dating a boy, but we weren't really dating yet. I just really knew I liked him. We hung out a lot outside of school, Jason. We we hung out
The
a lot.
eyes are rolling already.
Yeah, but we like knew we were friends. We hung out in like outside of school activity stuff, and knew like would hang out. And I knew that I had a crush on him, but I like wasn't sure if he liked me. And also, he had dated this girl who was in my class, and that was a big drama. And he like liked this other girl, whatever. And we had a dance one night, and the guy was Jason, the boy was like, hey, there's a big party happening at the Pap House. And this kid went to public school. So I went to a tiny private school full of nerds. We didn't really have parties. We just would go to school. And if it was like a movie in some rich person's house. But he went to public school with like the real kids who had real parties, like in the movies and TV shows. And he was like, yeah, there's this big party at the Pap House, which was like,
The
we had
Pap
a-
House.
the Pap
Sounds bad. doesn't it?
Yeah.
Basically, there were these two kids
Who are
who
they?
went to his school, Ben and Bill Houtkamp. I'm saying their
She
full
knows
name. I'm just like,
every- yeah,
Ben and
Bill
Bill
Houtkamp.
Houtkamp. You know the Houtkamp.
She has her hand over her heart. I'm not really sure what's
And
happening.
she's like, oh, Ben and Bill. And their parents were like rich. They had this huge house right by the Rock River, which like the rich people lived on the Rock River. And they had a house, but they also had like a guest house that their grandfather had built by hand. That's why it was called the Pap House, because it was the house that their pap
Ah.
built.
Oh,
Uh,
God.
But the parents just let their two sons live in this house and have it be their own house.
Oh
Like,
my
they did-
God.
whoa.
There
That's
were no
extreme.
no
That I know.
parental check-ins, and the house was far enough away that you could be in there having a party and they wouldn't hear a thing. They also like had a pontoon boat on the river that they would just take out, and the parents knew nothing. Like they,
Oh my
Wow.
their
God.
parents were just like, "We trust you, kids. Whatever, live your lives." They were all white.
I'm
Just
like
all
getting
white
Gossip
parents.
Girl vibes, like hardcore. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so Jason, this guy, like, is like, oh, hey, there's this big party at the Pap House. Like, you should go. And I'm like, well, I'm going to need an excuse. Like, I can't tell my mom I'm going to go to a party at the Pap House. So I was like, oh, me and my best friend Anna, we're going to a dance at the school. And then after, I'm going to spend the night at Anna's house. Of course, because I was like, I need an excuse so I can party all night.
Oh.
So I was like, I'm going to spend the night at Anna's
Sharon.
house. And telling Jason, the guy, I was like, hey, so yeah, I'm good. I'm going to tell my mom I'm going to this party, and then I'm spending the night at my friend Anna's. So I'm free all night. Let's go. And at this point, I had a car. I had a car at this point. So I was like, cool, I'm going to pick you up. We'll go to the Pap House, go to this party, do it all up. And the guy was like, I was like, so wait, where will we sleep? Like, I have to be out all night because I told my mom I'm sleeping over. And he's like, oh, don't worry. Like the Pap House, they have all these
No.
couches. like they don't care. Bill, Ben and Bill, they'll let us sleep over. They let us sleep over all the time. Don't even worry about it. So we'll just sleep over and then, yeah. And we go to the party, have fun, hang out all night. And then at some point, some drunk kid or girl or somebody, I remember, broke the rocking chair that their grandfather hand built.
Oh, no.
Yeah, broke the
Pa.
rocking chair. Ben and Bill get mad at everybody. Party over. Like, everybody has to go. Everybody has to go. And Jason and I were like, but not us, right? we're like, they have to go, but we're like your friends, right? Ben and Bill, like, we don't have to go, right? Because we are gonna sleep here. We're like, we can sleep on the couch in the sun. Isn't that okay? And they're just like, no, we're sick of it. Like, everybody has to
no.
go.
Oh.
Our parents are mad because the chair is broken. Everyone has to go. So we're like, okay, we're out in the streets at this point. And I'm like, what do we do? Where are we going to go? I'm like, we can't go to my house. Can't go to your house. Your parents are there. Can't go to Anna's because Anna, she's going to be mad. My friend and her parents are there. And we had one friend, this kid, David, who had a lot of like parental issues. He wasn't living with his family anymore. He was living with his older brother at this point, and he was our age. And David was like, yeah, you guys can come to my brother's place and stay here. And we get there. But he hadn't really told his brother, who like just had a lot of issues, was very like a closed off person, didn't like people in his space. So when we showed up and David's like, well, can't they just like sleep on the floor in the couch, he was just like, no, absolutely not, blah, and like started yelling at us and is like, you
Oh,
got to get out of my house. And David's like, I'm so sorry, guys. Like, I thought you'd be able to sleep here.
Oh no.
You know, he's like, I thought so. And then finally Jason's like, oh, I know another party we can go to.
Oh my God.
He's like, I know another party we can go to, and I know that the girl throwing this party will let us sleep at her house. She has like a huge basement. We can sleep at her house, no problem. Let's just go to this other party that was way on the, like, we're in downtown Rockford. We had to go all the way out to like Belvedere or something.
God.
It was to go to this party that at the time he was just like, we'll just go to this other party. This other girl's throwing. You don't know it. Let's go. And then we get to the
Seems
party.
reasonable.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just like, whatever.
Makes
I have
sense.
a car. Let's go. We go to the other party, and I'm like, I'm like, whose house is this? It's really nice. We get to the door, and the girl throwing the party is the other girl that the guy I'm there with is kind of dating and seeing.
Catherine.
No, this was
Oh.
Lauren.
That's
After
drama.
Catherine,
Oh,
he
after
started
Catherine.
seeing Lauren, who
Oh
was
my
in the youth group, and they were like seeing each other.
Jason.
Yeah,
Jason.
they were seeing each other sleeping together, and I knew this because he would tell me about it. And we were just friends at this point, kind of liked each other, but like I was like, you're dealing with that girl who's annoying. I don't want to. It was messy, but I knew she hated me because she knew that we like had feelings for each other. But she would just kind of be like, oh, I hate that he likes you more than me and only uses me for sex or whatever. And I was just like, girl, we're not allies here.
Yeah.
But can I
Just
sleep on your
like-
couch?
Yeah.
And as soon as we get to this party and I realize it's her party, I'm like, there's no way she's letting me sleep here. And of course she's like, Jason, on the phone you said you just needed a place to sleep.
Oh,
Oh,
Jason,
sad.
once again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once again,
Jason. He's like, well, I didn't think it would really matter. Like, you know, you have multiple couches. And she's just like, no. And all of a sudden she's like, well, my mom just said it was okay for Jason to stay over, but not two people. Which I'm like, oh, your mom was fine with a boy staying over, but not
Yeah,
me?
liar.
Like,
liar.
yeah, right.
Pants on fire.
Right.
Come
Like,
on.
okay. So then we're back to my car. And I'm just like, I don't know what we're going to do. He's like, why don't we just sleep in your car? I'm like,
Reasonable.
at this point, yeah, I'm like, this is our only option.
Oh, no.
I was like, at this point, it's like 1, 2 in the morning. We were just like, we just need somewhere to sleep until I can be like, yeah, mom, just left Anna's house, coming back home. So we drive. I was like, I don't know where we could like safely park my car. I'm like, maybe my school parking lot. We could
I was
just
going
go.
to say the
park-
graveyard, the
The-
graveyard.
the
I was like, the
cemetery,
graveyard.
yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. You know, we just need like a safe place to park it where like, you know, we can be like, oh, we're okay to be here. So we go back to our friend David's apartment downtown. And he was like, you can park in my brother's parking spot because he doesn't have a car. So we park in the building parking spot, like right behind their building under David's bedroom window. And like put all the seats down in my car and we slept in my car the whole night.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
This is in Northern Illinois. It is, of course, winter time. It's cold. We're like in this cold car.
Oh,
David is trying to
no.
sneak us like blankets, and his brother keeps like catching him and is like, "No, I don't want them to have my stuff." He's waiting for his brother to go to sleep so he can like
Psycho.
finally bring out a
Oh
blanket
my
for us.
God.
And yeah, we slept in my car that night.
Why didn't you tell me these things?
Oh.
Because all you needed to know was in the morning, oh yeah, we had so much fun at Anna's. And then in the morning, I took Jason home. I went home and was just like, oh yeah, just another sleepover at Anna's. We watched movies. It's fine.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
you really had no idea, Sharon?
No.
Are we
That one-
mortified?
That one got over.
I don't
on
think
me.
she ever knew I went to parties at the Pap House or any
You
of
went
that.
to more than one party there?
Yeah.
I do remember you telling me about these people and the situation.
Yeah, you knew they were my friends.
Yes, but I told you, do not go to their home. Because she was usually the only black kid there.
Yeah.
So my thing was, anything happens, you are going to be in trouble, not them. So
Yeah.
I was like, as a black parent, we have to think about these things. So I was like, look, you keep on messing with these kids that I don't know.
Wow.
I can't protect you. So it was crazy.
Yeah, but you like, because I would hang out with them at like, there was this place called Minglewood in Rockford where they would do like local concerts with like local DIY bands, and it was an all ages venue. And so she would drive me there a lot and like drive my friends and like kind of, so she would kind
I
of
was
see
always the
these.
driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Before I got my
kind of knew
license.
everyone and
Yeah.
everything.
But
Yeah,
that's-
she like,
but she was
knew
a
these
cool mom.
hippie kids.
that's
Yeah,
good.
she like, yeah, like you would give Andy Woodman rides and
Yeah.
stuff. And
Oh.
Andy Woodman was like this hippie kid who wore tie dye
Everybody
shirts and
liked him.
corduroy
I thought he was
pants.
cool.
Aw.
I mean, yeah, he was cool and very nice. He also was
Yeah.
the first person who ever gave me a pot brownie. Like
Oh, what?
a pot
Yes.
brownie.
A pot brownie.
Like that's why Andy Woodman wasn't like in school. He got in trouble a lot because he did drugs.
Yeah, but he was
You know.
older, so and he wasn't always
Yeah,
around.
he was
I
2
don't
grades
think.
above me.
So
But
he
like,
was
we
allowed
were
to
still
do
friends.
drugs.
Yeah, so he was allowed. But he was like 2 grades above me and we were friends. And I like at school, our principal would see that I was hanging out with these kids and she was like, you need to pay attention to your reputation. You're like building a bad reputation because you listen to Janis Joplin and the
Oh,
Grateful
no.
Dead and you wear bell bottoms.
Yeah.
And my mom was very like like that's stereotyping her, like that's rude just because she likes this kind of music. You think she's a
Yeah.
pothead and a stoner and all this. And I was like, thank you, Mom, for defending me, but she thinks that because I am actually friends with all the potheads and stoners. Like because legitimately I am friends with the like, this
I
is why
did
she's saying.
see that there was a prompt here when you had sent in your question or your stories, something about almost getting arrested.
Oh, yes. Almost got
Mom?
arrested for weed in college. This was I
Ah,
couldn't
sorry to
remember
drop
if
the
I've told
bomb,
you this
Mom.
story or not.
No.
I feel like maybe I did.
No, I feel you didn't.
I think
That-
maybe-
no.
That jaw dropped. That
Trust
jaw.
me, I would
feel
remember
like-
this. I would remember this.
Because it involved my good friend Chris.
Oh, the one we're supposed to have dinner with? I'll have words with him too.
Yeah,
He's like-
I mean,
One of my oldest best friends. We've known each other since freshman year of college. We became really good, close, fast friends. And this was our senior year. Yeah, because I did junior year abroad. And senior year, I come back. And I went to a really tiny liberal arts school in the middle of nowhere, Western Massachusetts, Williams College. It's called the Purple Bubble. The closest grocery store is like 40 minutes away.
oh my
Oh,
gosh.
wow.
Yeah. So you might imagine it is very difficult to buy weed there.
Sure.
Hard to find weed on campus, even though it's a college campus. Like the few people who had it, it was always like bad and dry. So when my college boyfriend, Jason, that same guy,
Oh, Jason really lasted.
oh yeah, he stuck around a while, good 5
Okay.
years.
Not at the same school.
Not at the same school. I went to a good school. He went to this like hippie green college in Vermont, Green Mountain College. It doesn't exist anymore. It lost
Oh, it doesn't?
accreditation.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not a good school. It
My bad.
literally lost
My bad.
accreditation.
I had no idea.
Oh,
And
What
went
do you have to
bankrupt.
do to lose an accreditation? at a
I don't
school?
know.
It was like an environmental school. Like, so they didn't just teach history; they taught like history of the environment, and they didn't teach
Okay.
like math. It was all environment math.
Got it.
So I don't know. That's what he wanted to study. Most importantly, though, Vermont, they love to grow weed up there. Tons of it, lots of it. So when I'd go to his campus, I had a connection. I had a connect who had all this weed,
Oh
who
my
grew it,
God.
who like
Good
had
thing
all
you're
these
sitting
strains,
down, Mom.
who had like all these strains. So naturally, as a business thinking person, because I had a mother
Yes.
who taught me to start my own business, who
it's
inspired
all
me
your
to be
fault,
an
Mom. It's all your
entrepreneur.
See
I
what you
was
did,
like-
Mom?
I saw the opportunity. I was like, oh, Williams, we don't have good weed like this. I can make so much money. And that's what I did. I
Yes.
started selling on campus.
What?
Uh,
Wait, you really
Oh
didn't
my
know this,
God.
Sharon.
She had no idea
oh
about
my
this.
God.
Wow.
Yeah, I was probably the biggest dealer on campus my senior year. I sold to everybody. The baseball team, football team, everybody liked me. I was the most popular kid on campus, like everybody. And I lived in a co-op, so technically it was off-campus housing. So like there wasn't a lot of like rules and stuff. But everybody knew me. I like
Oh
built
my
myself up,
God.
She's like, why didn't I ever have to send you money senior year? It's all making
Oh
sense
my
now.
God.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, how much were you pulling in?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, probably like my down payment on my apartment when I moved to Chicago was all that money. I was probably making like $1,000 a week. Like,
Whoa.
yeah, when I was like steady, when I had my good flow. And at
A
one
good
point,
flow.
like I couldn't get up to Vermont, or like they had days off and like the guy wasn't there. And my good friend Chris, who's from California, was like, hey, no worries. My dad is going to send me an ounce of weed from California. Great Cali Hydro. He's going to mail it to me. And he's mailed weed a million times. He knows how to
Oh,
do this. Don't
no.
worry. And I was like, people mail weed. We had other friends who'd done
Oh
it.
my
I was
God.
like, that's not a big deal. Like, okay, so I didn't think much of it. I was like, okay, Chris has this ounce coming in the mail. We'll have that to split, and we can
Gotta keep the
make that.
business
Yeah, keep it
moving.
working, you know? So I was like, okay, Chris, just hit me up when that ounce comes in. And every day, he's tracking this. He's telling us, he's like, 2 more days, guys, it's going to be here. Tracking it. The day of, he's like, it's the big day. It's going to be here. Like, he's like watching it, and it says like delivered to our mailroom. And he goes to the mailroom on our campus, and they're like, we don't have it. It got returned to sender. He's like, what are you talking about? It says it was here. And they're like, sorry, it got sent back to the Pittsfield post office because of the zip code being wrong. It got returned to sender. He's upset. He's like, okay, I'm going to borrow my friend Max's car. I'm going to drive to Pittsfield, which is an hour away from where we go to school. He drives to Pittsfield, goes to this post office, and they're like, so sorry, it already got sent back to Springfield, Massachusetts,
Oh,
the
my
capital. Something was wrong. And he's like, what? Why did it get sent? And they're like, something was wrong with the zip code. We don't know. You're going to have to ask your dad who sent it. Like, we don't know what's wrong with it. And he's doing all of this over the phone, and we're hearing parts of it from like campus. And he's like yelling at these people at the post office on the phone, like, do you know who I am? He's like, I'm a Williams College student. Blah, blah,
no.
blah. And
Oh,
and we're just
no.
like, Chris, you got to be nice to people. And he's
Yeah,
just like, you
first
dumb
lesson.
idiot. Yeah. He's like, especially if it's an illegal thing. He's like,
Yeah,
you
play it
dumb
cool, man.
idiots. Like yelling at them. He's like, I'm a Williams College student, blah, blah, blah. How dare you bring my mail back? And they're like, it's already in Springfield. Like, sorry, dude. The only way you're going to get it at this point is if you go to Springfield, Massachusetts, and you get it from the main post office there. He comes to me. He's like, Ashley, I can't use Max's car. Can you drive me to Springfield to get this package?
Of course you.
Whoa.
And I'm
Of
like,
course.
Chris, that's stupid.
How far
Like,
was that?
That's 2.5 hours, basically.
Oh
It's
my
like middle of the
gosh.
state. It's a long drive. My friend Courtney and I are like, Chris, this is so stupid. Like, dude, if it got sent to Springfield and it's at the post office, like, you probably got caught. Like, give it up. Like, And he's like, no, they told me it's because the zip code was wrong. That's all. Like, it's going back to my dad, and then he's going to have to resend it. Why wait? And he's like, I'll give you like part of it if you drive me. Like, he's like, I'll give you half or whatever, and I'll give you this much. And, plus what we were going to sell. And I'm just like, Chris, I don't know. This seems so stupid. And he's like, no, I swear, Ashley, like, it's nothing suspicious. Like, even my dad was like, maybe I did write it wrong. Like, I don't. And so I'm like, okay, fine. I will drive you. My friend Courtney was like, I'll come along. I like a road trip. I was like, fine. Me and Courtney are just going to go to Springfield. We'll have a good time, hit up some thrift stores, get tacos or whatever. And you go to the post office, handle your thing. We drive to Springfield. We get to the post office. He goes inside, and we're just waiting. He comes back out, and he's like, he doesn't have anything. And we're like, well, and he's like, they said that it was locked in a back storage room, and they had to
Yikes.
wait. They have to wait for the manager to get off their lunch break
Yeah,
and
the
come back
police.
to unlock it.
Yeah.
And they told us to
manager.
like go grab lunch. And I'm like, Chris, this is stupid.
Yes.
I'm like, Chris, what do
All
you
the
what do
red
you
flags.
think when the manager went to get lunch, they took the mail key with them? You don't like they were like, I'm
Yeah.
getting lunch and nobody's gonna need the mail key. And we're like, Chris, this is a bad idea. This is dumb. Like, and he's like, no. And he's like, he was very much like, I need this. He needed the money. Like, he needed it for a bunch of things. So he was very desperate. And he's like, no, like, I believe them. I trust that this is there. And so we drive back. We got lunch and we drove back. And I'm like, Courtney, let's just stay in the car. Like, this is a bad idea. And she's like, I think we should go in and just
oh
like,
my God.
Oh,
and like
Courtney.
not. Right? She's like, I think we should just go in because he's like doing something stupid and like doesn't know what he's doing. So we'll like walk in behind him and just like see. So he walks in and he has on a Williams College hoodie, bright purple, yellow
course.
Williams College
Of
hoodie.
course, he's so proud.
So proud. He gets right in line. Courtney and I are behind him. As soon as I walk in, I see 3 cops. And I turn. I just immediately start walking another direction like I do not know them. I am just like, and I am here to buy boxes. I am just like, I don't know them. Courtney also sees it and is like, I don't know them. Chris is the only one who does not see these cops.
Oh, of course
He
not.
just gets right in the mail line with his Williams hoodie, and they walk right up to him, of course, and they're like, Chris from Williams College. You're the Chris from Williams. And he immediately is just like, yeah, it's me.
Oh.
They take him, and Courtney and I are just like, whoa. Let's just go. We're like,
backing
we're just like backing up. And they walk over and they're like, we saw you walk in with him. We saw you outside. We saw him get out of your car. You got to come with us too.
Oh my
And
God.
I'm like, this has nothing to do with me. And they're like, we will tow your car.
Oh my God.
Which at this point was my mom's car because I took her car my senior year of college, the white Pacifica. They're like, we will tow it if you don't come with us. And so Courtney and I are like, okay, we will go. And we go behind to the back of the post office. They take us into this little office on the side.
Oh
But
my
like
God.
as soon as you step behind the back part of this post office, as soon as you step back there, you are hit in the face with the smell of weed. As soon as
they
the
had
entire
chopped it
back
open?
part, the entire back part of this post office smells like weed.
Like,
And I am like, okay,
no
they must have
denying it.
opened it or something. We go into this little like room where they're questioning us. You walk into this room and it is like someone just hotboxed it. It smells so much like weed. But the package is closed on the desk. It's still closed. And they put it down and they're like, Chris, is this your name? He's like, yeah. They're like, legally, we have to have you open this. He's like, I mean, I feel like if we were smarter, we would have been like, get a lawyer. You don't have to do this.
Yeah.
But we were just like, bro.
Yeah.
And they're also like, huh, what do you think's in this, Chris? Because the smell is so big, how potent. And Chris opens it, and his dad had basically, you know those like flat priority envelopes, just the
Yes.
flat USPS priority cardboard
Yes.
envelopes.
Yeah.
His dad had used one of those, stuffed an ounce of weed in it that
Hell
was just
no.
in a
God.
Ziploc bag, and then put one dryer sheet in it.
What? Oh
One
my
little dryer
God.
sheet.
He had to
What-
have been so high when he was packaging.
when he
it.
did that,
And then-
right?
Yeah, because they didn't get the zip code right.
Yeah, he got a zip
Zip
code. He's like, I don't know, one dryer sheet. And the one dryer sheet falls out and the cops start laughing.
Oh my
Even the
God.
cops start laughing. I'm laughing. I'm just like, bro. Like your dad.
Yeah.
I was like, does your dad hate you? Like what?
Sincerely.
You know. And I'm
my
laughing.
God.
And this is Massachusetts. Weed is decriminalized up to an ounce. So I knew
Wow.
the most he could get was a ticket because it was an ounce. But he could have faced charges because of the federal,
federal,
shipping
right.
of mailing it federal and
Yeah.
across state. Yeah.
That's a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah. So that was the thing. And so the cops honestly were chill. They're like laughing, joking along. They're like, you guys know this is bad. We have to confiscate it, you know. And they said, they were like, we're just going to let you go with a warning, not even give you the $100 ticket you should get. We're just going to give you a warning and tell you this is the
Wow.
dumbest thing we've ever seen anyone do in the history.
That's funny.
And Courtney and I are laughing. We're like, oh my gosh, thank God. And then one of the cops goes, and hey, this is really good weed, some real Cali Hydro. I'm keeping it. And
That's
we realized
why
that
they let you go.
that's why they let us go because he didn't want to
Wow.
deal with the paperwork. And he's like, you guys just get to go and I get an ounce of weed. And that made my
Wow.
friend so angry. That
Oh,
made Chris so angry
This-
because he needed this weed. He was like, you're not even taking it because it's legal. He was like, this is all bullshit. He starts yelling at the cops.
Oh,
He's
no.
yelling at them.
Is he
This guy's
crazy
an
or
idiot.
what?
What?
Yeah.
Like he's yelling at them. And Courtney and I are just sitting there just silent, like staring at the ground, just like, shut up, Chris.
Yeah,
shut
right.
up,
Yeah.
Chris. And finally, I'm just like, Chris, you need to shut up. And then Courtney and I are just like, shut up. And we take over. Like, we're two just very like, cute girls. Like, Courtney and I are just like these very sweet angel girls who are just like, Mr. Police Officer,
We didn't
we
know.
had no idea what he was driving us here for. And we're black and poor and we go to
We're
this
black.
we're like, we're black and poor. And we go to this
Sometimes
school.
it works.
And we go to this school with all these rich white people and we don't know, and we're just trying to like graduate and blah blah blah, and we're crying, and the cops are just like, oh girls, it's okay. Like they're like, no, we're still just gonna give you the warning. And they look at him and they're like, you need to say thank you to your friends, because if it wasn't for them, you would be in a cell right now. They were like, with the way you're acting, we would have put you in a cell. We would have like we would have taken her car, like towed it away, and we would have put your friends in jail, all because of the way you acted. And you need to say thank you to these girls for saving you right now. Because we're just letting you walk out of here. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And we just walk out. I think even the post office workers were shocked that we were just walking out. And we go back to my car, and I just start driving to campus. And of course, Courtney and I are so angry. We are just so mad. We're yelling at Chris. We're like, you should have listened to us, da da da. And Chris just isn't listening to us. He's still mad. He's like, I can't believe these cops. Blah, blah. He's still just like, this is an injustice that was done to me.
An injustice.
And we're like, Chris, you would have gone to jail. Like, and I'm just like, Chris, this is ridiculous. You should just be thankful. He's so mad. We get to campus, and I'm so mad at him, I can't even talk to him anymore. I'm just like, get out of my sight, Chris. I go straight to the student center, find my friends, and tell them this whole story, because I'm like, you guys will never just believe. Chris Simmons almost got me arrested for weed.
Oh, my God.
And we get away with it.
Crazy.
What a
we got
crazy
away with
story.
it. But then the cops called our school because of Mr.
No.
I'm a Williams College student. They called our school, called the security, and were like, these 3 kids were shipping weed, got in trouble, told them what happened.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
And then here I am, world's most
Ashley?
popular dealer on campus.
Oh my God.
Oy.
Sharon.
And like 2 days later, we're in my room smoking. Me, like Chris, a few of our other friends, definitely hotboxed it. I was smoking in my room. We're all like, okay, let's go to the student center, get lunch. I'm like, sweet, I just smoked. I'm going to go to the student center, get my little favorite tuna fish sandwich, come back, watch Grey's Anatomy in my room. Perfect day. Yes. And I go to the thing, get my sandwich. I'm walking back to my dorm, to the building, and in the parking lot, there are 4 cop cars.
Oh, no.
There's 4 cop cars. There's cops swarming in and out of the building. And I just see this, and I just turn around and leave. I just turn around and walk right back to the student center, just sit there with everybody and eat my food. I'm like, I don't know, there was cops, so I'm just not going to go back until they're gone.
Wow.
And I didn't. I finally go back. There's one security guard who had waited hours for me.
Yes.
Like all the cops are gone. One security lady who's just sitting in our kitchen, like, I've been waiting here for you to come back for 6 hours.
Oh,
and I was
my
like,
God.
and yeah, I wasn't coming back because I knew that. And she's just like, well, it smelled like weed, so someone called on you, and we came. We searched everything, and they didn't find my main stash because I had it in a lockbox that was very well hidden, but they did find like an eighth, which again, you were allowed to have in Massachusetts. But they like tried to intimidate me. They were like, you're going to have to meet with the security head, and like, we know that you're doing more things and blah, blah, blah. We're going to get you. And I was just like, I know the law. I only have an eighth. I was like, all you can do is give me a $100 ticket. So let's stop playing around here. You don't have any evidence of anything.
Badass.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you had hash and we know, but, and I was like, I only had a gram of hash. That's still under an ounce.
Oh, God.
I was like, it's not a
Oh,
different
poor
category.
Mom.
Oh my God.
I'm like explaining all the rules to the head of our security. And he knew that he couldn't do anything to me, and I got away with it, and I had no more trouble for the rest of the year. I just kept dealing, like knew to like keep it more underground and safe. And in fact, Chris, at this point, who was still so stupid, like he wanted all the glory for it. So I basically made it look like he was the dealer and I had nothing to do with it. He was so happy to like deliver things for me and like take people's things. So everybody thought it was him and I was just some girl.
Oh my
You are
God.
brilliant.
Yeah. So so then security started paying attention to him and I was just like, anyway, baseball team, how much do you guys need? What do you want? Like,
Wow.
student council, what can I do you for? And at the end of the year, it wasn't until I graduated, like, got my diploma, walked through the thing. And at Williams, they have this tradition, you walk through this gate when you finally graduate. And as I walked through, the head of security was standing, like, right there. Like, standing right there. And he was looking at me like, good thing you made it or something. And I was just like, fuck you, David Boyer. I was like, fuck you. And also I smoked so much weed. And then I just walked away.
Ashley.
I was like, huh. I was like, there's nothing you can
God.
do about it now, baby.
See, I needed to call my big ma and get the switch.
Yeah.
Hey, or have a
Gotta-
cocktail.
Are you shocked? I mean,
I'm
we need to
shocked.
hear your reaction.
I am like, yeah, I'm very shocked.
Yeah,
Are
she
we
had
a
no
little
idea.
bit
But I'm a
proud,
little
though?
PO'd
I
at
mean,
you. Oh
she
my
had-
God.
Why PO'd?
I can't believe you did that.
Because I made my own way.
No, you could have done
In
it a different
college?
way.
I had an on-campus job. They didn't pay
You
enough.
had tons of on-campus
Yeah,
jobs.
I had like 3 jobs and I still wasn't making enough money. So
Oh
there you
my
go.
Yeah,
gosh.
So
But look
there
what
you
she
go.
learned from you, Mom. Business
Yeah.
savvy.
Yeah.
She
I
got that
started my
first
own
apartment.
business.
Oh my God.
And then when they started, I thought they were catching on to me because I was picking up from Vermont. I found another person in North Adams. See, that's diversity.
Oh my God.
And-
Oh, she is a problem solver.
Oh,
she is
yes.
a businesswoman, and she knows how to get
Oh
herself
my
out of
I know
jail
how to
Gosh.
budget, handle my books. So
and change diapers if necessary.
And change
That's
diapers.
correct. And do CPR.
yeah,
And do
CPR.
CPR too.
This is a
Yes.
good thing for a dealer to know.
yeah.
I am so overwhelmed with joy watching
Oh
you
my
tell this story to your mom.
Yeah. She's
I'm
shocked.
glad I'm
And
not
also
telling
you-
the story to my mom.
Literally, my mom didn't realize I even smoked pot until after I graduated from
Wow.
college.
Surprise,
She had no
Mom.
idea that.
But
I
look at her
smoked.
now. She's, making a great living off of this.
Yeah.
And I'm a
Wow.
weed influencer. Now I make money off of weed legally.
Oh my God. We have to have another conversation because I'm so interested in the
Oh my
weed influencer
goodness.
culture. I
Yes.
went down a rabbit hole and of mommy, weed mommy blog. It is
Yeah.
I can't get enough of it. It's
It's a
such
whole
a
thing now.
fascinating. Yeah, it's a crazy culture.
My friend just was showing me a thing about how to breastfeed and still smoke weed and
Oh,
how to empty
no.
your milk and stuff the right way. And I was just like, that's too complicated.
Yeah, it's not too many
Yeah.
steps. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, but if you guys will join us after the break, we have our fans submit their own crazy stories, and we would love for you to listen to one. Hate to take a break from this riveting story. I feel like Sharon's about to fall over. You're about to fall over. I'm about to fall over.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I know. I think at one point her mom had her hand on her heart.
Yeah, you had mentioned that you're worried for her heart. But we had to take a break to say a big thank you to you guys for your love and support of the show. It means a lot to us. If you take the time to rate and review it, it helps the show just grow and expand so we can continue to do it and also continue to have these awesome guests and hopefully their parents on. So taking the time to do that is very much appreciated. Also, later in the episode, we're going to share one of your stories that you guys left us over on our website. You can head over to ungroundablepodcast.com and leave your stories that you've been holding in all these years so that we can read it and react to it live
Yeah.
here on our
Just
channel.
let it go.
Just let it go. You're going to feel
Go.
so great. All right, we got to get back to it. We got lots more to cover, and we need to know where this goes.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Yeah, let's get into it. Before we go, we do have listeners submit stories.
Okay.
And I was wondering if you guys would comment on one of the submissions that came through.
Oh, I'd
I have
love
yet to
to.
read them, but it's become a very therapeutic thing for people because they can go to our website and they can share the stories that they've been holding on to all this time.
I love
Can I just say that I'm
it.
terrified because my mom is doing her nice happy voice and it's the nice happy voice where
And
she's
she
like
notices I'm not giving her the look. I'm looking at her like, whoa, I'm
she's
gonna
doing
get
them just
you.
nice, oh, that's so great. I'd
just-
love to. I'm so happy. And the second we step out of here, she's gonna be, I can't believe
What are you doing?
I'm so disappointed in you.
Disappointed. Get
Yeah.
the switch.
Oh my
Thank you.
God.
But just that's the we're in front of a company and I'm being nice, but
That's so
Yeah.
funny. You know that voice and you know it well.
yeah, so I'm in trouble. Yeah.
We'll talk, darling.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a fun one because speaking of a good side hustle, since Ashley is the side hustle queen,
Okay.
this fan submission said, I made money on the side in high school for doing some other kids' homework.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. That's
That's
pretty
a great hustle.
cheeky,
That's a good
But
one.
that's a
good.
Good one. But where did that kid get the money to pay the kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Allowance, maybe?
Allowance?
I mean, I guess
Oh, yeah.
I used to, I was a tutor,
Yeah,
but that was like
tutored.
parents would pay me to tutor. But I
Yeah.
did do people's homework.
You
Like,
did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like those same kids who went to public school, they, I mean, I went to this fancy private school that was like way harder, and they were all my friends. And sometimes I would just be like, look, I just want to hang out with you guys and have fun. Let me just get your homework done so we can like hang out. I'd be like, I can just crank this
I knew
out.
she was doing that.
And, well,
You
I
did.
did.
and usually they'd pay me or something, or like give me something, take me out to dinner, buy me whatever, fries at the place, the diner we'd go to and hang out.
Right.
And
They
then,
love a good fry.
Yeah.
We'll take that.
but then the guy that I like, Jason,
Oh,
that I
Jason.
mentioned, he took this. They had like a beginner's Latin course, like Latin for the SATs. But at my school, you started taking Latin in 6th grade. So I had taken Latin from like 6th to 12th grade. I like was in ancient Greek at this point. Like I could read Latin and translate. I was like a pro. And he's in this beginner Latin class. And I'm just like, I
got
want to hang out and have fun, go to concerts and go to the Pap House to party. This Latin homework's taking too long. And I would just do it. I
That's
just would do his
awesome.
homework. And then one day, like his mom got a call from the school and they were like, hey, does Jason have a friend who goes to private school? And they were
I
like,
remember this.
Yeah, and they were like, yes, he does. And they were like, does he have a friend who goes to a private school that teaches Latin? And they were like, yeah. And they were like, yeah, because his grades went from D's to A's. And like he's not getting things wrong anymore. And
That'll
I think
do.
someone's doing his homework. And I was like, yeah, it's me. But see, when I started, I was getting a few wrong. But I was like, I didn't like getting it wrong because I know it. I would just be like, but why would I? But I know it. I was like, I know that I
Too
should.
prideful to.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just too prideful to be like, you gotta C and that'll look better. I was like, no, I can. It's gonna be an A. I would be like, did I get an A? Did I get an A on our
Did
Latin?
I get an A?
Yeah.
So
Well,
I say,
But I think that
and he wasn't even paying me. So I say, if you're getting paid, okay.
Yeah, not bad. We appreciate that. Mom, before we go, Sharon,
yes,
any
yes.
like final thoughts, feelings,
Just let it out.
regrets? Do we regret
we are going to
this?
have a long talk about this. Oh,
What are you gonna do now?
That could
Yeah.
have just
Yeah, what are you going to
changed.
do now?
And it didn't.
Take you to a prison reform to let you do a walk.
She sends you now.
She
Scare
sends me
straight.
now.
I'll do it now.
Scare
So
it straight.
as I live in LA, I can learn about the dangers of
Well,
using
yeah.
weed.
Oh my God.
And
No, I'm
Ashley, for the people that are listening who are going to be obsessed with you if they aren't already, can you tell us where they can find you and what you got going on or upcoming?
Yeah, you can follow me at The Ashley Ray on all social platforms, theashleyray.com. I have a bunch of shows that are happening. My lineup's at theashleyray.com. And my podcast, TV I Say with Ashley Ray, where I interview all your favorite comedians, actors, and writers about the shows they make and the shows they love.
That's so fun.
Great.
And my
Awesome.
mom is on it sometimes too. So
Yeah,
Yay,
Mom.
she comes on Talk Real Housewives or about murder mystery shows, and
Yes.
or probably now to scold me.
Yes.
Well, thank you for taking the time and also for sharing all these great stories. And
So
you
fun.
two are
Thank
just
you.
so lovely.
you.
Thank
Lovely.
you so much.
Yeah.
She's literally
Thank you
seething
so
with
much.
anger right
No,
now.
I'm not.
Like
I'm-
she's smiling, but just
I'm
she's
trying to figure
so
out the
angry.
timing because she was also. We were church secretaries, so I'm trying to figure out when were you doing this?
I was a
during-
church secretary that whole
Oh,
time.
boy.
She's multifaceted.
She
What you
is.
should know is that night when we didn't have a place to sleep, I was almost like, I got the code to my church. We could go sleep in the church.
Oh.
I was almost like, we could go sleep in the church. I have the security code.
Oh
but I
my
was like,
God.
someone might look at the thing and see that I put the security code in
Yeah,
at like
they
1 in
would,
the morning.
and they
My.
call me.
And be like, who's in the
Oh
church?
my God.
Yes.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I had the
Thank
like
you.
keys and code to our church, so I would
Yeah,
just
we
like
did.
go there.
We did.
But
all
see,
the
you
work.
guys both survived. So there you go.
We did.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy dinner
this was
ther I'm sure that'll
fun.
be a great conversation.
Yeah.
See you guys again soon. There you have it.
Whoa.
I almost feel bad because I almost feel like Ashley wasn't expecting her mom to be so mad. Like Sharon was holding it down, but I'm nervous for like the after
I
conversation.
know. I hope all will be well.
If it was me, what would like? What,
I don't know. I'd have to like
Yeah.
I don't know. Have a conversation.
Yeah, but also like what Ashley was saying, it was like, well, I mean, that was so long ago, and look at me now. So like,
That's true.
it's
That's
like,
really true.
And also, she was pretty smart the way she went about all this stuff.
She was super smart.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
yeah, but a little bit horrifying as a mother, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I hope that they like don't regret coming on the show, but we certainly loved having both of them. So please go give Ashley some love over on her socials. It was so fun to have her. Let us know your reactions and thoughts. If you're a parent, what would you think? And or if you're not a parent, are you proud of Ashley and the way she got away with things? Let us know. Also, you can come chat with us in our fun human content podcast family over on Instagram and TikTok at Human Content Pods. Like we said before, you can submit your own stories or just contact us directly at ungroundablepodcast.com. We really do appreciate shout outs, comments on Mondays. We have full episodes now up on YouTube, and you taking the time to leave comments there means the world to us. So today we're going to read a comment from Alex F on YouTube that said, fell behind on the podcast, but caught up this weekend, and now I'm going to listen to the latest. You've been in my ears a lot for the past 2 days.
Oh,
That's
nice.
cute.
That's great.
Yeah, we appreciate
Thank
you going
you.
back and catching up. There's so many fun episodes up now, so go check them out. Yeah, that's it, Mom. We done did it.
I know. Loved it.
Yeah.
It was really fun today.
Yeah, it was really fun today. We're your hosts, Lisa Schwartz and
The mom.
the Mom Schwartz. And our guest today was Ashley Ray and her wonderful mother, Sharon. Our executive producers are Lisa Schwartz, me, Aaron Corney, Rob Goldman, and Shanti Brooke. Our editor and engineer is Jason Portizo. Our music is by Omar Bensfi. And our theme song is performed by Leah Donovan Jones. This is Ungroundable with Lisa Schwartz and Mom, and it is a human content production. Da-da-da-da. I should have sold weed in college. She made a lot of money.
Well, her mom did give her a business model.
Yeah. Had you done that, maybe. I was just buying and smoking weed.
I don't even want to know that.
Yeah.